want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab it and take it. It seems as though God is fucking pissed that the WrestleMania build has been so lackluster that he sent an earthquake to the East Coast, specifically the tri-state area, earlier today. I was sitting at work. All of a sudden, my fucking building starts shaking. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I was getting ready to take action. Anyway, regardless of earthquakes, hail or sleet, monsoons, hurricanes, there's one thing that always remains the same. Always remains the same. It's that no one, and I mean no one, matches up to a storm. But not just any storm. You already know who I'm going to be talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to a very rare Friday stream. I can't remember the last time I uploaded a video or went live on a fucking Friday, but it is a very special occasion because this is stream number 2. That is right, stream number 2 of a 5-day streaming streak, and we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, down and dirty like we always do, because when it comes down to it, ain't nobody, and I mean ain't nobody, can do what I do at the fucking level that I do, bar no one. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter, handle. No. Stop what you're doing, people. Stop what you're doing, because there's an oh so familiar scent in the air. It is spine tingling, so I want you all to take a nice big inhale with me, and I want you to go, oh. Hold on. You got to do it a second time. Listen, it's so nice, and it is so goddamn energetic. It just pulses through your body. You got to do it a second time, so I want you to take a nice big inhale for that second straight time, and I want you to go, oh. Gotta hit that hat trick. You did it once. You did it twice. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 is a magic number. If you watch Schoolhouse Rock back in the day, you'll know that 3 is a magic number. So please take that nice big inhale one more time and go, oh, shit. Do you smell that? Oh my God, that is succulent. And that is absolutely goddamn tasty. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. That right there is perhaps the greatest scent that anyone will ever inhale. I think I know that you know what that is. Please tell the people, what is that scent?
The scent today smells like The Rock's cooking.
Let me tell you something. The Rock ain't cooking jack shit as compared to DJ motherfucking Storms. Okay? It is the Storm motherfucking excellence. Get it right.
I know. I had to get you on that one today.
Now wait for it. Wait for it. Little extra pep in my motherfucking step to mankind. You already know the drill, people. This is the official rundown for WWE WrestleMania 40, which of course is streaming live this Saturday and Sunday, April 6th and 7th on the Peacock. That is, get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. Peacock, this Saturday and Sunday, 2-night event. I do not like 2-night WrestleMania. I really do not.
I can't stand it.
Regardless, I'm looking at the card up and down, and it looks like it's going to be a damn good show. If WWE plays their cards right, similar to last year, we're going to get a really nice standout WrestleMania event. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they map everything out from the order of the matches to the lengths of the matches. We do have some undercard matches that give some of the other talent a showcase, which I'm happy about. But at the same point in time, it is very, very difficult for me to sit here and tell you that I am more excited than I ever have been, considering the overall build, specifically, I would say, in between the Rumble and the Monday Night Raw in Chicago. The last 2 weeks were fine. The last 2 weeks we actually got some substance. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. But the overall build clearly has been lackluster. We will dive more into that. But as you can see, I have not come here alone, because this is perhaps the biggest weekend of the DJ Storms brand in its history as we approach 7 years. 7 years of DJ motherfucking Storms, if you could believe that. That's coming up in July. But I am here today with my day one A1, an individual that I personally recruited a year and a half ago, and now he has become quite a regular here on the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the channel to talk about WrestleMania 40, coming to us live from Portland, Oregon right now on this fine Friday, Mr. HooliGrim. How you doing, brother?
Howdy. Good to see you. Good to be back. I'm still buzzing. I know we had birthdays this week, both you and I, a day apart, and the fact that we were Mania week babies, I think this was our destiny. So I'm always hyped this time of year, and I can't wait for tomorrow and Sunday, actually.
I had a feeling you were going to bring that up. 25 for me, baby. 25. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that shit, but I had a nice Chinese buffet. So
Nice.
I was sitting nice and pretty. Had that beef lo mein. I had the pork fried rice. You know, I had a nice egg roll. I had myself some noodles with the duck sauce and some steamed pork dumplings. You already know the drill. And a nice tall glass of Sprite as well. Fuck Pepsi, fuck Coke. You need to have a nice tall glass of Sprite. That's the way to go. It's refreshing as fuck.
Sounds good. I always like Sprite with Chinese food. I, for my birthday, went to a Brazilian steakhouse, and they were just carving meat. They brought meat on a skewer to your table and just carved it right off. I had bottom sirloin, filet mignon, bacon wrapped steak.
You had me at bacon.
Man, I've never been to a place like this before, and it was pretty delicious.
It must have been a very, very special occasion.
Yeah, I think I'm like 29 now.
Oh, you're 29, man. You're aging like a fucking fine wine. Anyway, we're going to get into the festivities here. But before we get into our conversation about Mania, please tell everyone where they can find you on social media, and then I will get into my self-brand promotion and advertisements.
You can find me on X at HooliGrim, WHO_LA_Grim, or TikTok at HooliGrim, just how my name is spelled, but with 2 R's. Go
check him out. He's rather active on X, formerly known as Twitter, as am I, and I'm going to be very active on X all weekend because we got 3 big shows going down this weekend, starting with tonight with Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. Of course, you can follow me on X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, at HistoryMakerDJS. It's right down there. Go and check me out. You can also add me on my personal Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all those links are in the description. We are live on my DJ Storms Posse group. We are live on the DJ Storms business page on Facebook. We're live on my X, my YouTube, and Rumble. So we got a nice wide outreach. Please make sure, if you have not already done so, to hit the like button no matter where you're watching it from and share the stream out on all platforms of social media. It is incredibly vital that you do so because then everyone is going to get their daily dosage or their weekly dosage or whatever dosage they need, because let's be honest here, people need their dosage of DJ Shizzle Dizzle because it is a known fact that I make people's lives better. I don't make the rules. Yes, I do. In addition to that, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button no matter where you're watching it from. You can follow me on Rumble or you can subscribe to me on YouTube. Again, the number 1 and number 2 video streaming platforms. We are looking to build a nice solid following on both of those platforms. I am on the road to 2,500 subscribers. We got a big surge of subscribers because last week, for the very first time ever, I got me a post, an upload, a short, a video upload of whatever kind, whether it be a live stream or a short, for the very first time ever. A video upload of mine reached 10,000 plus views. 10,000 plus views on a very simple short that I uploaded last week. Absolutely unbelievable. You guys are fucking great. I gained almost 100 subscribers from that short alone. And now we are on the road to 2,500 subscribers. So please make sure that you go and subscribe if you have not already done so. And in addition to that, please make sure that you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you are going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best motherfucking time to be on YouTube. Do you know why? Because it is the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Hold on, it's in here somewhere. It's going to try and find it. Oh, yes. Look at that shit. What does that say? That says ace, because I am the ace of the IWC. And we're going to light it up right here on the rundown. And it's a WrestleMania-style rundown. We're going to light it up with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because just like Brazilian steak and Chinese buffets, I am just so good. I am scrumptious, the tastiest snack in the IWC. Wait until you see the combs that I got coming to you guys. I got these custom combs just ordered today. I'm going to have them in just a few weeks in time for 80s WrestleCon on May 4th in the Menon Arena. Bright and early in the morning at 10 a.m. So get your asses to Morristown, New Jersey, in the Menon Arena for 80s WrestleCon. It is going to be fucking glorious. But anyway, we got a lot to get into. We got 2 nights of WrestleMania. By the way, shout out to John Blaine. He's in Philly right now. John Blaine, he and I predicted Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and NXT Stand and Deliver. So if you guys missed that stream from last night, go check that out. Incredibly vital that you do so. Now then, enough of the chit chat. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
We got a busy week, bro.
As I stated, WrestleMania, the card looks great. I don't think anyone is going to dispute that. I'd be a complete fucking idiot to say that the card does not look like an A-plus card. You take a look up and down this card, and virtually almost every match is a main event level type of match. Now, that being said, minus the last 2 weeks, because the last 2 weeks we actually did get a little bit of substance on Raw and SmackDown heading into WrestleMania. The entire build, minus the last 2 weeks, has been extremely lackluster. The shows really have not felt that energetic, and Dwayne Johnson has taken up the entire build to a point where nothing else feels important. Now listen, I'm not a guy that's going to tell you can't enjoy what you want to enjoy. You want to enjoy the build, you want to go and say that you felt that the build has been adequate, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm not going to tell you that you can't. It's your God-given right. You can say what you enjoy, say what you didn't enjoy, no problem. But I think it's public knowledge at this point that when you come here, when anyone comes and watches my fucking channel, you know that I'm not here to share opinions. I'm here to spit facts. And the fact of the matter is that the majority of the build has been very, very, very bland. It's been bland. It's been lame. It just has not been what I know it could be. Coming out of the Royal Rumble, we had 2 matches confirmed. 2 matches confirmed. We should have had at least half the fucking card confirmed by the second week of February. There's been barely any energy in the builds towards Iyo and Bayley up until 2 weeks ago. Rhea and Becky up until 2 weeks ago. Rollins and Drew, I'm not going to say that they haven't had build. They have, but outside of the CM Punk promo, it's just been repetition of the same shit that they were saying heading into their first 2 matches a couple of months ago. It's very, 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 very hard for me to sit here and say that, man, this WrestleMania season has felt super important when it hasn't. And again, it's sad because the card itself does not reflect the actual build. All I'm asking from WWE is just put effort into your shows. That's always been my biggest problem with WWE, is that they're fucking lazy. They put effort into Cody, Rock, Roman, Rollins, Becky, Rhea, and that's it. That's it. If you're not one of those individuals, we'll just throw you on the card and then call it WrestleMania. That's always been the problem that I've had. But the card itself looks fine. HooliGrim, let me hear what you got to say, and then we're going to get into the specific matches on WrestleMania's card.
I just want to start off real quick. I want to give a shout out to my friend Natasha in the chat. She is watching from Switzerland. So
Hey,
DJ Storms is making his way around the world.
Yeah.
And hello to everyone in the chat. I just wanted to start off too real quick by talking, because I know we got a lot to cover and I don't want to get long-winded. I just wanted to bring up the set reveal real quick. What were your thoughts about the set unveiling?
I mean, to be quite honest with you, it's kind of hard for WWE to top the last couple of sets. The WrestleMania 34 set was very, very good. That was like a Mardi Gras mask. The WrestleMania 37 set, that was fucking great. That was a fucking pirate ship. The WrestleMania 33 set looked fucking gorgeous. Last year's set looked fucking gorgeous. I mean, if you want to compare it to the past sets, I mean, this was clearly on the lackluster side, but in the end, I really don't give a shit about the set. Like, I really don't give a shit about the set. I don't give a shit about the location. I don't give a shit about how many people are watching. The only thing that I care about is if the show in itself is good. So I really don't give a shit, but if you want me to compare it to the sets of old, this one's clearly on the lackluster side.
I feel like I agree with the sets of old that you brought up, 33 being my personal favorite, but I loved 34. I loved the look of 31, I believe, when they were in Santa Clara, California, yes. I think, because yes. I love when WrestleMania is outdoors and it's nice and sunny. I just love that feel to a WrestleMania during the day. But I really don't like that they reveal the set on social media and they do it the way they do it, because I feel like when you see it live, when they start the show and the fireworks start kicking off, but the arena is full of people, it just looks different. And so I wish they would just keep it a surprise until the day of the show, and then we see it all for the first time together. But I understand they're just trying to get clicks and views and all that and whatnot. But I feel like every time WWE has a set where buildings are involved, fans just shit all over it because it's kind of like, I mean, it's Philadelphia. They stared
WrestleMania
all.
29 set was fucking great, though. That was
Which
a
one was
fucking great.
29?
29 was when it was in MetLife the first time.
I can't
I
remember.
was there.
Oh, were you?
It was Rock Cena 2.
Hmm.
And it was Undertaker Punk. That was 29.
I'd have to go back and rewatch that one. I don't
It
remember what the set looked like.
It actually wasn't a bad WrestleMania minus the last 2 matches.
Hmm. The set was all right to me. Like I feel like it'll look and feel pretty epic, but like at the end of the day, we're not watching the set. We're watching the matches. So
Exactly.
it is what it is, I guess. But all right, let's get into it.
Night 1. Let's talk about Gunther and Sami Zayn first. Now, one thing I've noticed is they've kind of been playing the sympathy card for Sami Zayn going into this match with Gunther. Now, I'm not sure if that is because they are making Gunther look like a beast because Sami's going to win, or if they are kind of trying to get a little bit of babyface sympathy on Zayn just because of the fact that there was backlash that Chad Gable didn't win that gauntlet match. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm kind of leaning towards the latter. And listen, it's sad, but at the end of the day, I do think that they should have gone with Chad Gable. Not to say that this is going to be a bad match. I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of this match. I think this is going to be a match of the year candidate. If they give them the time, this is going to be a match of the year fucking candidate, just like we had multiple match of the year candidates coming out of last year's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I have full confidence that Sami Zayn and Gunther are going to tear the house down. It's very, very odd to me that they're trying to play up Sami Zayn to be this babyface that keeps on coming up short when we've all seen Sami Zayn clearly isn't a come from behind babyface anymore. He's clearly a world championship caliber athlete. But I'm guessing it's because Gunther has looked so dominant that by default, anyone's going to look like a semi-pushover standing next to him. Because Gunther's the real tribal chief. Fuck Roman Reigns. If you want to talk about the tribal chief, Gunther's the fucking tribal chief. But I'm not sure if you got that same vibe. If you could elaborate on what you were thinking when they were playing up the sympathy card for Sami.
I don't know what the purpose, like their reasoning for that is, because I feel like the fans wanted Chad Gable. So because I feel like I've heard a lot of, I mean, for the most part, everybody loves Sami Zayn, but I feel like this sympathy they're trying to get for him is going to get him booed, because I think people really respect and appreciate the heel in Gunther that we've gotten with this IC title run that he's been on. And yeah, I'm with you. I think that maybe Chad Gable should have, I think he was deserving of it, of the spot. But it'll be a great match nonetheless. Is this the first match of the whole thing, or?
No, I think that they announced that Rhea and Becky's going to kick off the show, and then this match will kind of be the co-main event tonight one. I just decided to skip around a bit.
Rhea and Becky is starting the show? That's interesting.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about that, but
I'm not complaining. It's just interesting.
Now, here's a question. How are they going to book this outcome? Do you give Sami the title? Now, to a certain extent, I would not mind if Sami won the title, but if you're asking me, I mean, Sami, he should be penciled in to win next year's Royal Rumble. And then after Gunther wins the World Heavyweight title, it's Gunther and Zayn at WrestleMania 41, and Sami should beat Gunther at WrestleMania 41. That's what I would do. And if I'm booking this, I'm having Gunther retain, and I'm having Chad Gable beat Gunther at Backlash in France. With that type of crowd, you know for a fact that we're going to get one hell of a reaction for Chad Gable and Gunther, because the international WWE crowds, they have easily been some of the best crowds that we've seen in pro wrestling in the last couple of years. The international WWE crowds, I'm telling you, if I could, I would have every single episode of Raw and SmackDown in the O2 Arena in London. And then you got France. You know France is going to fucking bring the heat. So I would have Gunther retain here, and then I'd give the Intercontinental title to Chad Gable at the hands of Gunther at Backlash, and then Gunther can go and win Money in the Bank, and then he could cash in at Bash in Berlin and become the World Heavyweight Champion.
I have some fairly slightly different booking for Gunther than you. I think he keeps the title, and I think that I don't see him being defeated until he wins Money in the Bank, and then I think he forfeits the IC title. Because
I
Gunther,
can't really get behind that. I fucking hate title relinquishment. Like
I do too, but I also don't believe that anybody on the roster right now in the mid card can beat Gunther.
Gable.
The
fans wanted it.
I think Gable can give him a good match, but I don't see him beating Gunther either.
You really don't think that it devalues the championship like that when it's relinquished? Because this isn't me just shitting on WWE. I complained about this shit when Sting and Darby had to relinquish the tag team titles after they beat the Young Bucks. I was pissed off that happened. Because if you're going to have someone win the championships, unless someone is injured and cannot fucking compete, why give them the championships if they're not going to do the right thing and lose the championships and transfer that credibility to someone else? Because Gunther right now is one of the most credible guys on the roster. Are you really just going to have that credibility go up in smoke? Him losing the IC title is not going to do anything for him. Dude, Gunther's bulletproof.
I get that, but I feel like if I was booking, I want Gunther undefeated as IC champion. I'm putting that accolade on him. And like the way Samoa Joe relinquished the ROH TV title,
I hated that.
That devalues a championship in that manner. I think I'm talking once in a blue moon type situations, like this run that Gunther is on. To me, if he's gone through everybody multiple times and there's no one left and he has his sights on bigger, better things, there's no really other option but to, or he can go into, he wins Money in the Bank. Gunther's, I don't think they're going to be the type of guy that blindsides somebody with a cheap cash in out of nowhere. I think he's going to call his shot. And I think he's going to say, I'm cashing in at such and such event, Bash at Berlin. And he's going to call out his, whoever his opponent may be. So I think with that being said, in this scenario, I don't think it devalues the IC title for him to relinquish it undefeated when the time presents itself. That's just how I see it. But I understand where 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, relinquishing it does devalue it. But you don't get a guy like Gunther in a run like this all that often. So I feel like it fits in this scenario.
Then what? You're really going to wait until next year's WrestleMania for Gunther to transfer some of his credibility to someone?
No, because I don't have him. I don't feel like every champion has to necessarily win a title Mania. I would have him win the belt at Bash at Berlin.
No. I'm talking about Gunther. If he relinquishes the championship, he's going to maintain his credibility, but it's not going to be transferred to anyone else, because in order to get a roster full of credible individuals, you need to have one guy develop credibility, which Gunther has credibility. He's had credibility for a while, and then he needs to transfer that to someone else by putting them over. If Gunther doesn't put anyone over, then he maintains his credibility and nobody else benefits from it. No one else benefits until he loses the World Heavyweight Championship.
I just don't see, I've run through a lot of different scenarios with different guys. I don't see a scenario where I can suspend my disbelief enough to believe that a smaller guy, as strong as he is, I feel like size in wrestling matters, and Chad Gable,
dude. I'm sorry, dude.
It's not believable to me.
Yeah. I don't think you can operate with that mentality anymore, man. That right there, that's the type of mentality that kind of ruins booking for modern day wrestling. Because if you're gonna operate as if it's the fucking 80s, I don't know what to tell you, man. But I think we're Gunther across the board here. I think we're Gunther across the board.
I think
Yeah.
Gunther retains at Mania.
I love Sammy. I would not be mad if he wins, but
Same here. I love Sami Zayn.
I got Gunther winning. If Sammy's going to beat Gunther, it should be next year when Sammy wins the World Heavyweight Championship.
I just feel like Sammy doesn't have enough momentum. I feel like everybody wanted Chad Gable, and then they gave us Sami Zayn, and then it's kind of like they've been trying to accept this type of deal, and it's just kind of, it feels a little bit forced. Like you said, it's not going to be, I'm not complaining, it's going to be a great match, a match of the year candidate for sure. Gunther can bring anybody to a good match. So, and Sami Zayn is, I mean, he's no slouch in the ring himself. So you put two great workers in the ring together and they'll make magic.
We'll see what happens, but the whole issue is flip-flopping of plans, and I'm not going to use CM Punk's injury as an excuse. Just because CM Punk got injured doesn't give WWE an out for flip-flopping all of these plans. They should have stick to their guns on a lot of these matches, and we'll talk about that. Gunther and Gable should have been the match that they stuck with. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. I am not going to say that this is going to be a bad match either, because this match, I mean, you look at the talent in this match is going to be one hell of a wrestling match. But, dude, why didn't they just do Rey versus Santos? Why did they waste that on SmackDown? This is another issue that I have. I'm happy that Dragon Lee is getting a showcase, because Dragon Lee is one of those guys that deserves to be on WrestleMania. I'm all for Dragon Lee getting the showcase. But, dude, this is a fucking rehash from last year. Only add in Dragon Lee and Santos. This should have been a build-up with Rey and Santos only, and Santos would have gotten his big win at WrestleMania instead of having a very, very standard house show match on SmackDown where Santos got a win that's ultimately going to be forgotten and overshadowed by the potential win that Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio are going to get at WrestleMania. And I'm going with Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio for one specific reason. They're teasing the breakup of Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, and their on-screen partnership is going to be no more, which I don't know why. I hope to fucking Christ that Rhea Ripley does not lose the championship to Becky Lynch. If she does, I'm going to be fucking pissed. But as far as this match goes, I mean, this is nothing more than a match to help enhance the storyline with Dominic Mysterio. And I don't like the fact that Dominic Mysterio is taking center stage here, and he's the center of attention because he is the one that's ultimately going to take the loss, and Rhea's going to be pissed at him, when in reality, this should have been Santos Escobar's moment.
My turn?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I actually, thinking about the Judgment Day and all the moving parts that are going on with that faction, the other day I was thinking about my predictions, and Damian Priest, they've been showing over the last few weeks, seemingly is getting visibly more and more frustrated with Dom. I think Dom is starting to get this arrogance about him, like he's in this faction that makes him kind of untouchable, and you can kind of just see it in his behavior a little bit, and that interaction that he had with LWO and trying to get them to mingle with his partners in the Judgment Day, and Damian Priest wasn't having any of it. I actually, you say it's a rehash of last year, and a lot of this WrestleMania actually seems to be a rehash of last year. A lot of this, what we've gotten this year with Cody winning the Rumble twice in a row, Roman and him main eventing twice in a row. I love Rey Mysterio. But my booking for the Judgment Day implosion from within, I have actually Dom and Santos Escobar. Is that his name? I keep wanting to say Pablo Escobar, and so I keep getting confused.
Who the
But
fuck is Pablo?
that's a story for another day.
I mean, it's the
Have you ever
fucking rundown for WrestleMania. You may as
have you
well
ever seen the
tell
movie
a short
Scarface?
gist of it.
Have you ever seen the movie Scarface
I've
with
heard
Al
of it.
Pacino? Okay.
I've heard of it.
Any,
Yes.
Anyways, so I have Dom and Santos winning. I don't want to see Ray spanking his son again. Not that I'm a Dom fan or anything like that, but with what I have going on with Rhea Ripley and Priest and Finn Balor, I think Dom's actually going to get the win. I'm not necessarily he's going to get the pinfall and be the guy that wins the match, but I think that him and Santos are going to come away with the victory.
I find it very, very hard to believe that Dom's going to come away with the victory. I find it very, very hard to believe because at this very moment, the whole story is Dom getting himself into fights that he can't win because he lost to Gunther, he lost to Ricochet, and now he could lose at WrestleMania. I mean, it just doesn't really seem efficient to the story for Dom and Santos to take the win. If Santos was going to get a win, it should have been in a one-on-one match against Rey Mysterio.
But look at the heat Dom gets, right?
They
Whether
turn the crowd volume up there. That's not completely
that
organic.
too, but for how they portray Dom, imagine just him beating his dad at WrestleMania and then coming out the Raw after Mania to gloat about it is just heat magnet central to me. I feel like it's gonna make Dom start almost acting like he's the leader of the faction.
I mean, if you're asking me, if Dom was to get a win over his dad, it should have been last year. I'm slightly shocked still that Rey Mysterio won last year. I thought Dom was going to get the win last year. It is what it is there, but yeah, with two different predictions to start off the show. I don't think we've been this divided so far. Looks like we're gonna have to keep an eye on how the rest of the card turns out for us. But I'm sticking with Ray and Dragon Lee.
Also, Rey Mysterio just showed up last week out of nowhere. It's like, where you been all build?
He's been back for like 4 weeks.
I just feel like he's been seen so not, I know that they've been building the other matches because they're more important, but this match just felt like really thrown together last minute, and it's like, oh, we get to see father and son again. Like,
yes.
Nobody's really that interested in it, and I'm like, well, what are they doing? Putting it on the pre-show? Is this a pre-show match, or like, who does anybody really want to see this? I mean, it's good for Dragon Lee, it's good for Santos in a sense, but like you said, I would have rather it been a one-on-one myself.
Yeah, it should have been Santos and Ray. That's the whole reason why they've been building this. Dom literally just came out of nowhere. Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Dakota Kai and the Kabuki Warriors. This being Asuka and Kairi Sane. I'm going to throw this out there. Just like Ray and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos, this match does not need to be on WrestleMania. This match doesn't need to be on WrestleMania. The only reason why it is because WWE is trying to
get everybody on the show
into the spotlight. They're trying to shove Jade Cargill into the spotlight, and they're trying to make it seem as though, hey, we got the best women's division on the planet, when in reality, if your name isn't Rhea Becky, Iyo, Bayley, or Bianca, then ultimately you're not worth 3 minutes. They got this WWE Speed Challenge to crown the first ever WWE Speed Champion. Meanwhile, you already have your own concept of speed on Raw and SmackDown. It's called the Women's Division. So, not really sure what you're trying to pull there, but you're not slick. You're not slick, WWE. It's nothing more than a way to get Jade Cargill on WrestleMania because they're going to try and hype up Jade Cargill as this megastar, when we all know Jade Cargill's not a megastar. An entrance does not make a megastar. If you can't fucking wrestle, you ain't worth jack shit in the world of wrestling. If you cannot wrestle, unless you're a manager, you better fucking know how to wrestle. And Jade Cargill, she was barely a decent wrestler in a sea full of great women's wrestlers over in AEW. Now you're coming over to WWE, where some of the women are actually better than the women in AEW. How are you going to look? That is the main question. If she has not been putting in the work these last 7 months since she signed with the WWE, then we're going to have a fucking problem. This match is merely on the card to help mask Jade Cargill's flaws. If she does not put in some extra work after Mania and she proves that she can hang, then you know what? I'm going to say that I don't want anything to do with Jade Cargill. The whole reason why Jade Cargill was able to have semi-decent matches in AEW was because she had other women who were better than her leading the charge. What are you going to do? You're going to have her squash women after women the same way that she did when she was the TBS champion over in AEW? You can't do that shit. You can't do that shit. I don't know about you, man, but this is probably the match that I'm looking forward to the least. And I'm going to have to go with Jade, Bianca, and Naomi because, again, this is the whole reason why this match was made, to give Jade Cargill a quote-unquote WrestleMania moment. Meanwhile, she's been signed to the company for 7 months, and she has not done jack shit.
For this being who does this excite anybody match, I got a lot to say about this one because I spent a considerable amount of time back and forth with. I just started with who's in the match and who I think is going to win. And Damage Control has got to be one of the losingest factions I've ever seen, especially when it comes to important PLE matches. They seem to always be on the losing end.
They're like the League of Nations. They were constantly fed to Roman. It's like Damage Control, constantly fed to people like Bianca.
The right to censor.
Oh my god, I remember those fucking guys.
And I love Asuka. I love Asuka. And I just feel like, man, if you give her another WrestleMania loss, like, that doesn't sit well with me. And then I'm thinking about the timing of Naomi coming back like a week or two before they show Jade. Where's there for Naomi to go? We had the Royal Rumble where we have Bianca and Jade face off against each other a little bit towards the end of that Rumble, which kind of to me was a seed planted for a feud in the future. And I'm thinking, you can't really have Jade lose in her debut Mania match, even though they debuted her on Friday and didn't wait to debut her on Mania, which was puzzling to me. Not this past SmackDown, but the weekend before, or the week before. So my thinking is I think Kabuki Warriors get the win because I think what is going to happen is either Jade or Bianca, because Bianca's been losing. I think one of them is going to go heel and turn on her respective compadres in the match. I just don't know if it's going to be Jade, because Jade is so new and she's coming from a place where she got the Goldberg treatment, which was they had already capped her ceiling before they started with her. And we don't know what she's been doing the last 7 months. And I feel like presentation-wise, you have to have a few things as an overall package to be a superstar. There's a couple of things that are blatantly obvious when you look at Jade Cargill that she's got that are part of what you need to become a superstar, but we need the other stuff. We need the promo capability, and we need a semi-decent in-ring work rate. So if we don't give her squash matches, which I don't think they're going to do, I'm willing to give her a chance. Because I think that she could make the WWE a lot of money if all the stars align for her. I mean, she's got the package, the looks and the entrance, the most important things, we need to see more of. And I guess it remains to be seen how it's all going to play out. But I don't really care about this match, but I would like to see Asuka win at Mania, and I want to see Jade do something different, like when they debut people as baby faces all the time. I'm like, when was the last time like you just seen a debut of like just a real nasty heel come into the company? You know what I mean? That's not been in the company, that was like a baby face and then switched to heel, or vice versa. I think that they pushed Jade. They gave her to us at Rumble. We saw her on SmackDown a couple weeks in a row. I just see her. I see her turning heel.
I'm going to tell you this right now, dude. In no way, shape, or form is Jade, Bianca, and Naomi losing. I'm telling you this right now.
You're probably right.
I will bet money on this.
Because I don't want Jade and Naomi to lose. I really don't.
Neither do I. But again, what other option is there? Is Jade Cargill's going to lose?
Do you give Asuka her 6th WrestleMania loss?
Yeah, I don't like it, but that's going to happen. You're going to have Jade lose her first legitimate WWE match.
If she gets frustrated, let's say, and turns on her girls, Bianca and Naomi, and walks off, we're not really looking at it as Jade suffered a loss. And then the next time we see her, we boo her because she turned on her teammates, the baby faces, Bianca and Naomi, and I don't think the crowd will even care that she was on the losing side. If you do it that way,
dude, it's not going to happen. I'm being realistic here. It's not going to happen. Jade Cargill is going to be the one to get the win, and I would not be shocked if she pins one of the Kabuki Warriors. Would not be shocked. Just watch. Just watch.
Like Asuka.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I mean, Mercedes went to AEW. She's about to become the TBS champion. They needed to find someone to take her WrestleMania losing streak.
Real quick, I think it was Collision when Renee Paquette was standing on the stage and CEO comes out. Did I hear her say, when she looked at Willow and said something to Willow about Dynasty, is Willow facing Julia at Dynasty? I swear.
Yes.
Mercedes,
she is.
So Julia's with AEW.
Julia Hart, yes.
Oh, I thought she was talking about Julia.
No. Julia Hart is the TBS champion.
Because that threw my. When I saw that a couple nights ago, I'm like, oh, because I originally thought maybe WWE would have Julia.
She's in Philly. Julia is in Philly.
Man, I don't know. Now that you say that, I'm thinking there's a good chance, at least a better chance for my prediction to happen if Julia shows up and tries to help becomes the newest Kabuki Warrior.
Julia's going to NXT. Julia will go to NXT. You know why? Because we need someone to take the NXT women's title off of Lyra Valkyria. Just watch. Just watch. Jade Cargill is going to get the win, unfortunately. Jey Uso, Yeet versus Jimmy Uso, no Yeet. This is actually one match that, oddly enough, even though the heel turn didn't make sense, and I will continue to say that the heel turn last year didn't make any fucking sense, the Bloodline storyline fucking sucks. It's overstayed its welcome. Everything should have been over by SummerSlam of last year. I am slightly looking forward to this match. I'm slightly looking forward to this match only because of the fact that it's something that, A, we never thought that we would see, and number two, B, this is the third time in WrestleMania history, and ironically enough, if you've paid attention, every 15 years at WrestleMania, every 15 years, it's a brother versus brother match. We had Brett versus Owen at WrestleMania 10, Matt versus Jeff Hardy, at WrestleMania 25, and now Jay versus Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania 40. I don't know if that was done by design. I don't think it was, but kind of an odd statistic right there. I find it, but I think that this is going to be a very entertaining match, and I do believe that WWE may have made a little bit of a mistake. I thought that this match was going to be the one to kick off the show. I'm actually a little shocked that they did not have Jay and Jimmy Uso kick off the show, but instead they're doing Rhea and Becky, which I'm not complaining about. But this match should be an entertaining one, and in the end, this is just a match to finally tie up loose ends, round out the storyline from last year's SummerSlam. I got Jey Uso taking this. Really no reason for Jimmy Uso to take the win. Jimmy Uso, at this rate, is just the jobber of the bloodline along with Solo, which is sad. Very, very sad, because those two should have been those two actually should be better off than where they are right now. But again, the entire bloodline storyline has run its course. Should have ended last year. They continued it going into this year. Now we're getting Jay versus Jimmy. I got Jey Uso winning this, and probably at some point within the next year, we're going to see the reunion of the Usos.
Now, see, that sounds to me like you're booking with your heart.
Dude, Jimmy's not winning. I'd be shocked.
Because you're so over the bloodline, the whole bloodline thing.
Shit needs to end, dude. It needs to fucking end.
I hope you know, regardless of the main event outcome, however they decide to go, which we all think is going, we're all pretty certain what's going to happen in the main event. The bloodline storyline ain't done yet, not by a long shot.
I know, and I'm getting ready to smash my head through a fucking wall.
And I'm really intrigued by this match. I mentioned a number of weeks ago, probably right around Royal Rumble, maybe a couple weeks after, when Rock showed the family tree at the Vegas press conference. You see all the names. Somebody put an epic montage together of live footage of all of the bloodline family members in professional wrestling from all the different promotions. And it was like just like a 3-second clip of each guy, and it named them. And it was the whole bloodline family tree. It was pretty awesome. I saw it on Twitter last night. But for the brother versus brother thing, we've got main event Jay, who's been built up now that they've separated the brothers. We've got main event Jay like up here, and Jimmy is just Roman's lackey. So on paper, it looks as though, I wouldn't argue necessarily with anybody that picked main event Jay, but after that press conference, I started thinking there was talks of Jacob Fatu being a free agent. The other bloodline family members, would WWE have other bloodline family members get involved if we get to the bloodline rules stipulation match? I started thinking about Rikishi, and I'm like, he's gotta have something to do with something to do with the bloodline story in some way, shape, or form. And almost within a day of me mentioning Rikishi's name, it was like my phone heard me, and I started getting YouTube videos with Rikishi popping up in different interviews lately. So I started paying attention to his Twitter and noticing that he had announced right around Royal Rumble time that Jacob Fatu was about to be a free agent. Recently, he's teased that someone is on their way back. Don't know if he's referring to himself or a member of the bloodline. He was very, very cryptic when he was asked in the interviews I saw with him. I think he did one with what's the name of the YouTube channel with the Scottish guy?
Kenny McIntosh?
Oh, it's what's his name? I always see him interviewing the really famous interview he had was with Paul Heyman.
Kenny McIntosh.
What's his channel called?
Inside the Ropes.
Yes, thank you. I didn't know his name by his actual name. I just know him by his channel. Rikishi, I can see getting involved with his two sons beefing with each other, and I also could see Solo Sikoa getting involved. And where I feel like we're going, and we'll get into this when we get to more of the main event talk, but later on in the year, I feel like we're heading towards some sort of bloodline-ish Civil War type of deal at Survivor Series. So heading in that direction, my booking mentality is Jimmy needs to look semi-important, and not just the little lackey that shows up to help Roman cheat. I wouldn't be mad if Jay wins, but I feel like Jimmy needs the win, and I feel like they're going to have Rikishi not interfere, but have something to do with maybe he comes out and tries to plead with his sons to stop fighting with each other, and then maybe they have Solo Sikoa under orders maybe from Roman or something of that nature, Samoan Spike his own dad, and that kind of by default you see Jimmy maybe looking at his dad like wanting to help him but too afraid to go against Roman Reigns, so he stands there watching while Jay's holding his dad and trying to help him, and that sort of puts Jay and Rikishi kind of heads in that direction towards a bloodline civil war, part of that storyline anyways, towards November this year, but that's my thinking. I have Jimmy with the win.
I mean, I could definitely see it. I wouldn't mind a bloodline civil war games match as long as Roman's not the champion anymore.
Yeah.
I will gladly take that. I'm still going to go with Jay. I think that they're going to get that over with just because of the fact that they're both on separate brands, and if they are going to continue the bloodline storyline, they either need to get rid of the brand split or they need to be on the same brand.
What did Jay do at last year's Mania?
Jay and Jimmy fought Kevin and Sami in the main event.
That's right. You're right.
Speaking of the tag team titles, Judgment Day versus New Catch Republic versus New Day versus DIY versus Awesome Truth versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. I'm not going to lie, dude. I was actually against this, and I still am. I still am, simply because of the fact that they had multiple storylines and multiple ways that they could have gone. And this is where I say WWE is lazy. A lot of people want to look back at Full Gear 2023 with AEW, and they had LFI, House of Black, FTR, and Ricky Starks and Big Bill. They threw those guys in a fatal 4-way ladder match for the AEW tag team titles. And you want to know why I didn't shit on that, but I'm shitting on this? It's because they didn't have anything going into Full Gear that was long-term for the tag team division. They didn't. So that match virtually came together in 3 weeks. But you take a look at what's been going on with the Judgment Day. Judgment Day's got history with the New Catch Republic. They got history with DIY. There's story there. Hell, fucking Awesome Truth sucks dick. Awesome Truth is probably one of the worst acts in wrestling right now, and I'm getting ready to fucking turn this shit off every single time I see R-Truth on my television screen. But even that is a fucking story. Even that has story. But no, let's take it. Let's take six teams and throw them in a clusterfuck of a ladder match because, WrestleMania is already sold out, and we already got Rock and Roman teaming with Seth and Cody. We don't really need to book night one as important. Blah, blah, blah. That's why I can't get behind this shit. And God forbid, dude, I'm telling you right now, if Miz and R-Truth win, I may very well shut off the show. I'm not even bullshitting you. I shut off WrestleMania 34 and I went to fucking bed before the show was over because AJ and Nakamura failed to deliver. So this would not be the first time that I shut off a WrestleMania. Would not be the first time that I shut off a WrestleMania. And I really hope to God that Miz and R-Truth do not win. I got DIY. Fucking give them the tag team titles. I've been saying that DIY was the team to beat the Judgment Day. They had a great match back on the Monday Night Raw after the Rumble. Matter of fact, that was Judgment Day's best title match throughout their entire title reign thus far. The top two matches that they've had were with New Catch Republic and DIY. Give it to DIY. You cannot have all of this new talent on the roster and you're not doing anything with it. That's what I fucking hate about the WWE. They never build up new stars in the correct manner. We do not need Miz and R-Truth. Those two have had careers. Give it to Gargano. Give it to Ciampa.
It's actually nice to hear you say that about, because I agree about, I know the Miz and R-Truth have story, but holy hell do I not want them to win a pair of them titles. I'm with you. I'm not for the let's cram 12 dudes into a ring in a ladder match. I seriously hope nobody gets hurt in this match. But I feel like there's too many fucking babyface teams in this match. So if you give it to one of them, then what? You just have babyface tag teams fighting each other? New Day's babyface, DIY's babyface, New Catch's babyface. The only heel team in the match is Judgment Day.
Waller in Theory.
And Waller in Theory.
They're heel team.
And I think just because of it was very obvious from the moment we started seeing Austin Theory that he was a big, like, you can tell Triple H is big on Austin Theory, the way he's been, even though he lost his Money in the Bank in a goofy way, even though he got Stone Cold stunnered in the ring, was that last year at Mania?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And so he's been put in these positions where it seemingly looks as though he's being buried, but yet he's not. And he's such a heat magnet. I've got to go with. Now, they're putting both sets of tag team titles on the line, right?
Yeah, I think that we very well could get a tag team title split. If we get a tag team title split, then it should be DIY and New Catch Republic. No exception. If we get a tag team title split, it needs to be DIY and New Catch Republic.
Well, WWE's not going to do that. There's no way they're going to do that.
And if they don't, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shit on them.
I think that Waller and Theory get a set, and I think that DIY at first glance seems like an obvious choice, but I feel like New Catch is getting some wind under their wings, and they got some momentum. I feel like I can feel the momentum with them a little more than I can with DIY, and I think Triple H has got to be gassed at the fact that he can now have Pete Dunne and bring Tyler Bate to the main roster. It's obvious to me now that we didn't see Tyler Bate for all this time on the main roster. Had to have been a Vince McMahon thing. Had to have been. Vince McMahon probably didn't like his size, probably didn't like his look. The one thing I wish they would change with Tyler Bate is please put him in some ring attire, not Fruit of the Loom tidy whities. It's just I don't know, that's just a small little nitpick. Because I love Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. I love them as a team. I'm not really sure what the meaning is behind their name. Everybody still seems to be trying to figure out what New Catch Republic means.
Why not just call them British Strong Style?
Yeah, something. I don't. anyways, that's neither here nor there. I've got Waller and Theory winning a set of the titles, and I've got New Catch winning a set of the titles.
You can't do that.
Why? Because they're both on SmackDown. But if you have one of them win, then that one of them win the Raw titles, that means they're automatically going to Raw.
I mean, they never specified that. I'm going based on brand-specific teams.
I got you. I got no arguments with that.
And in addition to that, dude, Waller and Theory been booked like jobbers. Like, no one gives a fuck about him.
But that's the thing. That's what they do with Theory, though. They book him like a jobber, but then he still gets these moments. So it's kind of like a weird...
like a jobber throughout 2023.
It's like a... But I'm talking like, you know, in major moments at PLEs, he loses his Money in the Bank cash in a goofy fashion. What happened with him last year? Was that
he was U.S. champion last year for over like 250 days.
Oh, that's right. He was getting a push.
He beat John Cena. He beat Edge.
Yeah, I just feel like you need, like you always say, a heel with the title and a babyface chase is the ideal situation. I feel like if you have two babyface tag teams, I mean, there are only so many options then for a heel tag team. You've got Judgment Day.
You don't need to do heel
Santos
versus babyface always, dude. See, here's the thing. Nowadays, when it comes down to guys like DIY and the New Catch Republic, just put them in the fucking ring and let them fucking wrestle. That's another thing with WWE. Too much talking, not enough wrestling. We need.
That's why you like AEW.
But then how exactly are DIY and the New Catch Republic supposed to succeed? Because let's be honest here. They're not going to be cutting cutthroat promos like Dwayne Johnson, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. They're not. You need to give us more wrestling on TV.
More wrestling. I get that. And I've never been a fan of dual tag team titles. I've never enjoyed that aspect of it. I feel like one set of titles, you roam around between shows.
I don't understand why they're not doing that.
It's really annoying to me. It's been annoying to me for many years now. And that's just, but you know, if we have to do the double set, then I don't know. I just feel like there's something with Austin Theory that everybody behind the scenes loves. There's something about him that everybody seems to just really gravitate to, and I can just see them winning. WWE does goofy shit like that sometimes. They'll have a team that just completely looks goofy and jobs out, and then they'll get some sort of mysterious title win that's inexplicable and doesn't make any sense.
Like, make them look strong. Make them look strong. You take a look. And again, I really don't want to use AEW as a comparison here, but look at what they're doing with Malachi Black, right? Malachi Black is set to fight Christopher Daniels tonight on Rampage. This is his second singles match this year. He's going to win. He's going to be 2-0 in singles competition this year. Mm-hmm. And then we got ourselves a match with House of Black, Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston at Dynasty. Who do you think's winning that match? It's going to be the House of Black. And that match is going to lead to an even bigger match with Malachi and Copeland for the TNT Championship. I don't understand how you don't do that match. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got to be a match going on in the future. It's got to fucking be after what happened last Saturday on Collision. But how would it look if Malachi lost 15 matches in a row and now he's getting a title opportunity? That's what I can't stand about this. And then he wins the championship. So he wins a championship in a fashion in which he gets the win after losing 15 matches in a row. How does that make him or the championship look good?
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I can also see just some hokey shit going on with Waller and Theory to where Waller really screws something up for their team and Theory just literally snaps and says enough of you and takes Waller out himself. And I could be totally wrong in my prediction, and I wouldn't be surprised if WWE does put those belts on somebody other than Waller and Theory. I just feel like the heat that Theory gets is well noticed backstage, and
I
I
love
feel like
Waller and Theory. Don't get me wrong. I love them as a team, but they gotta fucking win matches.
yeah.
They gotta fucking win matches.
New Day's in this match too, right?
Yes.
New Day's in it. I don't see them putting. I mean, they've had their day in the sun multiple times over.
Fucking
So I
12
don't.
times, dude. Enough is
Yeah,
enough.
I don't see them getting it. And then there's the Judgment Day. So my theory
Judgment Day is
with
not winning. Judgment Day is not winning. If
right,
Priest is going to walk out as a champion, he's going to cash in the World Heavyweight title match on night 2.
right, and I'm assuming you have Rhea winning against Becky. So those are your 2 Judgment Day wins. Oh, and I have Dom winning also. So those 3 matches are W's for Judgment Day, and you've got Balor and is it who Balor and JD McDonough then?
No, Balor and Priest.
Oh,
Yeah.
Balor and Priest are in the ladder match.
Yes. They've been the
Oh.
tag team champions
Okay.
since
Well,
October.
either way. So then you've got the 2 Judgment Day W's, Rhea and Dom, and then you've got the other 2, Damian Priest and Balor. I've got them losing, not retaining the titles in this match, which further propels the split and the tension and the teased breakup of the Judgment Day. And it would make sense that Priest, he's been frustrated with Dom. Rhea is the clear leader of the group, and Rhea's always having something to say to Damian Priest, it seems like. So I can see Damian Priest just saying, fuck this shit. And then therefore that leads him to cash in. I don't know if he cashes in at Mania. Maybe he waits till Raw after Mania. Is a possibility. I think he would want his Mania moment, so I can see him doing it at Mania and then coming out to gloat about it tomorrow, Monday night. And maybe that's when he announces that he's done with Judgment Day or whatever have you. But yeah, my prediction is I love New Catch Republic. I love them both, so I picked them. They deserve it. They've got some momentum.
Yeah, I still got New Catch Republic and DIY if we're going to have them split the titles. I mean,
Those are good choices, though.
Those 2 teams are the best 2 teams to represent each brand as tag team champions. And that's always been my thing. You always put the best people in that position. That's why Willow's going to beat Julia Hart at Dynasty and win the TBS championship, because Willow is one of the best that they got. And then Mercedes is probably going to win that championship because Mercedes is easily the best that they got. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, WWE Women's World Championship. Up until the promo in Chicago, these 2 women have had a very, very, very lame build. The promos that they were cutting on each other, very tame and very lackluster. But they turned up the heat in Chicago. They needed to. And I'm happy that they did. I'm very, very happy that they did. This was a match that everyone has wanted to see for a while, almost 5 years in the making, ever since that they were fighting in NXT back during the period of time where NXT Black and Gold was on USA Network. Rhea Ripley retains here. I mean, it's got to be, dude. Rhea Ripley needs to retain here. There is no fucking reason why Becky Lynch needs to win the championship. Rhea Ripley is retaining. If Rhea Ripley is going to be losing, I can't see her losing until SummerSlam. Liv Morgan is next. Liv Morgan is going to be going up against Rhea Ripley at some point, and she'll probably get her moment, and she could beat Rhea at SummerSlam. Depends on it all depends on how they want to build her up and who are they calling up from NXT. That is the main thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. But no way, shape, or form does Rhea Ripley need to lose this match. Becky Lynch does not need another title win. Becky should be in the position where she should be putting people over. She helped put Nia Jax over at Raw Day 1. She didn't win the Royal Rumble. She should not be winning at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley retains and continues her women's world title reign going into the spring and summer. Plain and simple.
Now, my booking pick is Rhea. Love everything about that girl. She absolutely is on a different level to me. Almost to the point of overshadowing a lot, just about everybody she's in the ring with. And then I was thinking yesterday about things, and I thought about one little small detail that a lot of people, I've not seen anybody talk about this, and I remember very well from days long ago when a Mick Foley or a Chris Jericho or a Stone Cold, there was a run in the late 90s or early 2000s. I think it was early 2000s actually. The top guys, top people in WWE started putting out best-selling autobiographies. And Becky Lynch has just come out with her book last week. And that doesn't give me confidence for this match ending up the way I want it to end up. I don't know how you take the belt off of Rhea Ripley, but I just have a sneaky suspicion that they might, because it would only help to sell a lot more books if Becky Lynch, she's David, Rhea's Goliath, if she topples Goliath at WrestleMania and she's got that belt over her shoulder while she's on her book tour throughout leading into SummerSlam pushing this book. I feel like WWE, I could be wrong, but I remember a lot of times when the books were coming out, the dude had the belt at that time, so I wouldn't be surprised. I hope I'm wrong. I hope to God I'm wrong. I feel like Becky Lynch is an awful to listen to promo.
She's fine when she gets serious. But when
she overdoes it to me, bro. Like when she was on the Ariel Helwani show and she walks up to Rhea Ripley and she just her mannerisms and it's just so forced. Everything about her trying to act tough feels just like that to me. It comes off as an act and does not come off as like genuine and believable. I feel like she's trying a little too hard. And I felt this way about Becky Lynch for a very long time. And I look at the size of her and I think, what on your best day could you do to hurt this girl who is as tall as me seemingly, and I'm 6'3", and I'm like, what's Becky Lynch gonna do to her? I'm hoping it'll be a decent match, and I really want Rhea to win, but the fact that Becky Lynch, I just feel like she's got this momentum behind her, especially with this book that they've just launched, and I could see them giving her the nod. But with that being said, I've got Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I got Rhea Ripley too. I can't see Becky winning. If Becky wins, that would be one of the worst booking decisions that they could possibly make. That would be just as bad as Cody losing last year.
I'm gonna step away real quick. My headset's wireless, so I can still hear you. Don't be alarmed that I'm not here. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
All right, no problem. We got ourselves the main event of night number 1. This is Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Now, if Cody and Rollins win, Cody's match will be free of the bloodline. But if Roman and Rock get the victory, then Cody's match on night number 2 is Bloodline Rules. I really hope to God that this match is at least semi-decent. See, the one thing that I've had a problem with as it regards to this match, regardless of how badly Dwayne Johnson has sabotaged this fucking match, the main issue has always been The Rock's ability to actually get in the ring and put on a decent match. I am not asking for 630 centons and fucking 50 Canadian destroyers. I'm not. But if we do not get at least some form of wrestling instead of just standing around for 3 minutes like what Rock and Hogan did, then I'm going to have a fucking problem. If you're hyping this shit up as the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history, you better have it fucking deliver from an in-ring perspective. You better have it deliver. Now, the build itself, I'm going to continue to say this, the build itself has pretty much been the only important thing on WrestleMania's card. Not because The Rock has made things better, because he hasn't, but because this match has gotten the most time out of the entire WrestleMania build. And I said this from the get-go. This match, I mean, if you don't think this match is predictable, I mean, you're out of your fucking mind here. This match is as predictable as they come. This entire WrestleMania season has been predictable. Nothing's been exciting. If you don't think that The Rock and Roman are going to win, then clearly you got another thing fucking coming. The Rock and Roman will win this match, with Roman pinning Cody, just like he did last year, and Cody's going to have even more adversity going into WrestleMania night number 2, and it's going to be bloodline rules. People, if you are going into this thinking that this match is unpredictable, or if it's going to make any difference as to what's going to happen on night number 2, clearly you got another thing coming. Because on night number 2, Cody's going to win. Cody's going to win on night number 2, and we're going to discuss how he's going to win, because what happens in this match is going to directly affect the outcome of the main event of night number 2. Because on night number 1, Roman and Rock are going to win to make Cody Rhodes feel like he's got zero chance of walking out of WrestleMania night number 2 with the World Championship. And once again, Cody Rhodes is going to look like a fucking bum after he's looked like a fucking bum all year long coming out of WrestleMania 39. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but my dog is screaming. I've got to go run to the living room and see what's going on with her. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
No worries. I'll hold it down. Don't worry. Hey, listen, what are you going to do? People, we all love our pets. We all love our pets, people. But, man, it's very, very tough for me to get excited about this. It really is. And I am extremely disappointed at how poorly, and I mean extremely poorly that Cody Rhodes has looked throughout this entire build. A lot of people coming out of last year's show, they were all on board with the fact that, oh yeah, Roman Reigns retained. Meanwhile, you take a look at everything that has happened over the course of the last year with Roman and Cody, and this isn't the first time that I'm saying this. Everything that has happened over the course of the last year with Roman and Cody, and how badly Cody Rhodes has looked with the feud with Brock Lesnar, where we got no rhyme or reason behind why Brock Lesnar even attacked Cody to begin with. The 4-month feud with the Judgment Day, which resulted in a War Games match. The absolute meaningless, and I mean meaningless feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then you got Rock coming in. And the only reason why Cody Rhodes even got the main event of WrestleMania 40 night number 2 was because of the simple fact that the fans revolted. And rightfully so. The fans revolted because they wasted our time with a solid fucking year of build. They wasted our time with a solid fucking year of build, only to have Dwayne Johnson swoop in, take Cody's spot. The fans weren't going to allow that. Reports have come out left, right, and center saying that the original plan was supposed to be Roman versus Rock. The original plan was supposed to be Roman versus Rock. And it's only because of the fan backlash that Cody Rhodes will end up getting his second, or realistically now, his third WrestleMania main event in a row. But Roman and The Rock are going to win this. If you honestly believe that The Rock is going to lose his first match back in how long? 8 years? If you even want to call the match with Eric Rowan back at WrestleMania 32, if you even want to call that a match, I don't consider it a match. It was one rock bottom and a pinfall, and it was all over. One rock bottom, 1, 2, 3, goodbye. Realistically, his last match, his last real match, was with John Cena back at WrestleMania 29, which I was there, by the way. But it makes absolutely zero sense. It makes absolutely zero sense for Cody and Rollins to win. It's going to be Rock and Roman. In no way, shape, or form is Rock and Roman going to lose, and Roman will pin Cody. And we're going to get even more adversity. Because God forbid, you couldn't have just given Cody the championship last year. You came back just in time, HooliGrim.
Sorry.
If you didn't hear what I already said, I mean, you know what I've been saying about this match.
Yeah.
You know what I've been saying about this match, and you clearly know where I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania night number 2, and it's going to be Bloodline Rules.
And I think you're more than likely right. I think for myself, and maybe why I feel like I've tried to find the positive this year during the build, because there's not been a whole lot in the previous 15 plus years with the old man running the show, he who shall not be named. So the fan in me has come out more so than the analyst, I think, for this build, just because it's been entertaining to me to see The Rock take on this more sinister. The build was hokey from the get-go, with with The Rock coming back, with the fans in outrage because Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. It didn't help matters that Cody came out with a live mic and said to Roman he's giving his WrestleMania match to The Rock, and then 3 days later at a press conference comes out and says this is bullshit, and they never explained. I mean, they did kind of, but Cody never actually came out and said, yes, I gave Rock the spot, and this is why, and here's why I want it back.
The heel turn doesn't make sense either. Rock's heel turn does not make sense. It doesn't matter who wants to fucking tell me that it does, and it doesn't matter how much people have been enjoying it. The heel turn doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Why now? Why now does Rock care if someone insults his bloodline when he didn't care for the last 10 fucking years that Roman was employed in the WWE?
Yeah. So with all of that aside, I think you're right. I think the obvious, sometimes like you said, WWE is lazy. I think sometimes they just do the most obvious thing, which is probably what's going to happen here.
Predictable.
However, the fan in me decided to book this match. So I would actually have, because I feel like if you watch the Roman Reigns documentary and you heard him say, if he's not champion, if he's not the top guy, he doesn't want to be here.
Hogan 2.0. Who gives a fuck?
So let's say it plays out like you say, and Cody wins on night 2. Does this mean Roman's going on hiatus? We know The Rock's going to shoot a movie in May. I feel like Cody. Well, I'm just saying, Cody Rhodes has been on the ass whooping end of every segment since The Rock showed up and turned heel at that press conference. Cody's been getting owned week in and week out. So I feel like that is we are being teased with a future Cody versus Rock match at some point. I would assume this year. Are they going to do that before May? They're going to wait till after. I mean, once The Rock goes to film movies, is he even coming back after that this year? Who knows? I don't know. But I like to throw a wrench into things and to shake shit up, right? And to go against the grain. So to spin everybody's minds for a loop, let's say that Cody and Seth win night one.
There's no way that they
Then what do you do?
There's no way that they will. Dude, it's like saying that Damage Control is going to beat Jade Cargill and company. It's not going to happen.
But just think about it for a second.
It's not going to happen.
You don't think that having a true one-on-one, because think about it, Roman has used cheating to his advantage every single title shot, every single title match he's been in. This whole run, it's cheating, interference. If Cody and Seth, just hear me out, if Cody and Seth win night one, Seth has also, probably more so than Cody, been made to look like an absolute afterthought. Like a nothing.
Seth actually looks better than Cody. I'm not going to lie. Cody's looked like a fucking bitch.
Cody's looked like a bitch, but Roman coming out calling Seth secondary and just the way he's treated Seth, a little bro. Cody looks weak in terms of somebody that can't stand up for himself. Seth just looks like he's lost his way with that title, with this whole story. I don't know why they even had Seth more focused on a match he's not really even, a storyline he's not even really a part of. He was beefing with Cody. He couldn't get one over on Cody. And then he comes out after the Rumble and is like, oh, you need to pick me.
And then there's some people that are saying that Seth is going to turn on Cody. I mean, that's one of the worst case scenarios.
Now, Seth did mention he always has a plan B. So, now they could be doing all these things to throw us off for the unpredictability factor. There could be a number of things that they could do when we all know what they're probably going to do. But back to my theory of Seth and Cody winning, they would probably, it would give them a sense of self-confidence, like, holy shit, we just took out the final boss. Now there's no bloodline interference for Cody. It'll give Cody like, oh, I've got this in the bag. Without the bloodline interfering, I can topple Roman if it's one-on-one. This is my best chance yet. And I feel like if they go that route, when Cody wins night two, it's like a true win, and nobody's gotten a true win over Roman.
But I don't care about a very important factor. You're forgetting a very important factor as to why it's going to be bloodline rules. It's going to be bloodline rules because
he's going to overcome the odds. He's going to have to go through the gauntlet. I get that.
No. It's not. No, that's not why. The reason why it's going to be bloodline rules is because then Roman's going to look like he's untouchable, and then the thing that he least expects is going to happen.
You think The Rock is literally going to turn on Roman?
Exactly.
You think that's going to happen?
That's the predictability in it all.
God, I hope
not. In no way, shape, or form is Rock and Roman losing, because on night two, Roman Reigns is going to look like he's got Cody beat again, and Cody's story is over. Rock's going to flip him around, rock bottom. Cody Rhodes is going to take care of business, hit the crossroads.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does.
It made sense if Rock didn't turn heel already.
No, dude. The Rock is playing Roman. That's the whole thing.
He didn't know that Cody Rhodes was going to, or maybe, what is he going to say? He knew Cody Rhodes. It was planned all along to come out and talk shit about the bloodline.
They could do that. They could very well do that. Maybe that would tie up loose ends.
But why would Rock turn on his cousin?
Because it's quite simple.
Rock is the most famous person on fucking planet Earth. He's surpassed pro wrestling. Nobody expects that he's gonna stick around and have matches from time to time. Like he's just here for a short time, a good time.
A WrestleMania 41 match 1 year in advance, just like they did with Rock and Cena.
But when he came back day one, it was The Rock was almost babyface. He was babyface, but it wasn't like he was like. He just said, "Do you want to see me sit at the head of the table?" It was not going to be built as like oh, there's something personal between the two. It was
But there
just,
is.
this was the dream.
There
If
is
you watched
something
Young Rock, the
personal between
dream
the
was one day Roman Reigns is going to grow up and he's going to face his older cousin, his idol, his mentor, the guy he watched be champion his whole childhood. He's going to get his shine, his chance to go against the great one.
No, there is something personal between the two. You're forgetting one thing. Are you going to tell me that Rock is not offended in any way by Roman Reigns calling himself the best, and I mean the top of the line, coming out of the NOI family? Because a lot of people, when they look at who the best individual to ever come out of the NOI family was, most people look at The Rock.
So all you had to do is look at the family tree. Roman Reigns is down here as tribal chief, and in big old letters up here is the High Chief, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
All Dwayne Johnson has
why
to
would
say,
Dwayne Johnson, as the biggest superstar actor of action movies on the globe we reside on, why would he care?
Because it's
if his cousin is called the tribal chief of just pro wrestling. Roman Reigns isn't.
Jealousy. It's family jealousy. It's the same thing with
it.
Jay and Jimmy. The whole premise of Rock and Roman was never built on, oh, one day Roman's going to grow up and Roman Reigns is going to face his older cousin. That was never the premise of Rock and Roman.
Yes, it was. You never listened to Vince McMahon talk in his interview about that then, because Vince McMahon's whole plan was Rock versus Roman.
Yes. Not because of Roman growing up. That's bullshit. Whatever you're hearing is bullshit. The real reason behind Rock and Roman is, and should have always been, because this makes sense, Rock seeing Roman getting too big of an ego. Roman Reigns' ego has gotten too big for him, and Roman Reigns needs to be humbled by the OG tribal chief. Never forget who the most famous, who the best NOI family member was, and it was The Rock. Everyone.
The Rock's not NOI.
He is. He's part of the NOI dynasty.
No, there's
the whole family tree. The whole
family tree is made up of two separate families forged together by marriage.
Well, either way.
You've got the Fatus and you've got the NOIs.
Yes, but either way you look at it, when someone is asked who is the biggest and the best individual to come out of the Samoan dynasty, majority of people always say The Rock. They don't say Roman.
Right. So if they're already saying The Rock, then your theory makes no sense, because then there's nothing for The Rock to be.
The theory does make sense.
There's nothing for The Rock to be jealous of.
Yeah,
everybody already regards him as a higher stature than Roman. What have we been watching every week, DJ? The Rock coming out and outshining.
Rock is going to turn on Roman because of the simple fact that Rock is taking exception to Roman calling himself the head of the table and Roman acting like he is the best family member to come out of the Samoan dynasty.
Yeah, I get
Rock
what you're saying.
Coming back to humble Roman. The whole thing is about Roman Reigns being humbled by his own family.
And I'm saying that would have made sense had we stayed on the trajectory of just The Rock coming back, saying he wants to sit at the head of the table, and then them building the feud between The Rock and Roman leading into Saturday and Sunday. We didn't get that because of all the internet crybabies, right?
No. We didn't get that because of the simple fact that WWE creative fucked up and they got well-deserved backlash. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, they wasted our time for the last year only to switch shit up, and then they only went back to it because the fans rightfully revolted, similar to how they revolted with Bryan Danielson back during WrestleMania 30 season. The whole premise of The Rock and Roman has always been Roman being humbled and Roman's head getting too big for him to a point where, all right, you know what? Don't forget who the OG tribal chief was, cousin, and it's the jabroni beating, blah, 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 loud, pie eating, all that other shit. That's the whole premise of Rock versus Roman. And considering this is so big of a match, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to be built in the same way that Rock versus Cena was built. Rock cost Cena the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 27. The following night, what happened? Rock and Cena at WrestleMania 28 was booked. And that is exactly what is going to happen here. Or at least that's what should happen. Because at the end of the day, The Rock and the Bloodline, the heel turn never made sense to begin with. So if Rock,
why does it have to be like The Rock and Cena, though?
Just hold on. If Rock at least comes out and says that Roman Reigns, he was beaten at his own game. Roman Reigns got fucking played by the final boss. At least if he were to come out and say that after he fucks over Roman, then that would tie everything together. That shit would make sense. And one of the big matches for WrestleMania 41 will be booked 1 year in advance.
I'm not arguing with what you're saying. Like, I see totally where you're coming from. I just feel like if The Rock's already regarded by most as above the tribal chief, then it would be beneath him to get jealous of Roman. Now,
Well,
Roman
you know,
was that. Now,
wrong
before
language.
The Rock,
Wrong language by me.
before The Rock started showing up every week and dominating shows, when he first came back, Roman had this aura about him. Like, he had the shirt, God mode, you know, how he's been doing. And then I see The Rock comes back. Should I sit at the head of the table? It was looking like they were going towards The Rock is here to humble Roman Reigns. Finally,
Yes.
someone's going to put Roman in his place. Then it all got wackadoodle. It all got wacky. So now where we're at, Roman, to me, I'm trying to think of how much we've even seen Roman in this build. It's just been rock, dominant, rock, dominate, rock. And they get Roman and Rock in the same ring together. I'm like, did they figure out some way to like enhance the size? I know genetically he's jacked. Natural or not, doesn't really matter.
No, he's not.
But he just looks larger than life, even next to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns just looks like this little boy, like looking up at The Rock. So how is The Rock going to humble Roman when Roman doesn't look like the dominant one in this build whatsoever? I would think it would make more sense for Roman to turn on The Rock and say, "Hey, you've outshined me this whole time. You've forgotten who really runs this place.
Well, I'll tell you
I'm the
what.
big dog. Remember?
This? How about this?
This is my yard.
How about some miscommunication in the tag team match, resulting in Roman Reigns accidentally spearing The Rock? They still win the match, and then that gives The Rock a reason to turn on Roman on night 2.
Okay.
Either way, dude, Rock is turning on Roman.
That makes more sense for The Rock. I just don't. Maybe part of me doesn't. Maybe part of me feels like it's too soon for The Rock to turn on Roman.
But the heel turn never made sense to begin with.
You're more than likely right. They're probably going just the obvious, let's just be done with this shit scenario. Rock and Roman win. But the fan in me, what I want to see, and that's why I picked what I picked. I feel like Cody and Seth. Plus, if I'm right, I can get on Twitter and tell everybody to suck it. So I'm gonna go with Seth and Cody, even though I think you're correct, and I think that Roman and Rock obviously are probably gonna win night 1.
I'm gonna be quite honest with you, man. I think that the fan in me is virtually dead. All that I think of is booking the show. The fan in me is dead. Well,
that's interesting you say that, because when we talked the other day, I was going to ask you something along those lines, but I didn't know. I didn't want to come off the wrong way, so I didn't ask you. But I was going to say that are you even a fan? Because you're so analytical with your booking and stuff, and that's not a judgment. Don't take that the wrong way. But just in conversations with you, it's like sometimes I'm like, does he like truly enjoy? Like, is there anything that gets you like, fuck the analytics? Like, does something ever happen that just makes you just jump out of your seat and you're just like, fuck yeah?
The only time where I feel like I'm really a fan is when I'm actually at the shows live.
Okay.
That's the only time where you know what I'm a fan of? Good TV. That's what I'm a fan of. When the television's good, I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna be happy about it.
I feel that. And I think that's why I think it's been easier for me to suspend my disbelief with what's been going on, and I've just tried to embrace the entertainment aspect of it, because at the end of the day, it's WWE, and what we all bitch and moan for on social media, we're never going to get anything close. They're going to do things the way they want, whether it makes sense or not. So,
and that's the reason why I continue to complain.
Right, and I get that, and I went through my multiple years of complaining, and I think I'm just looking for just something positive to enjoy for this Mania, because I just want it to feel like Manias used to feel when I was younger, and I'm just trying to bypass and just put blinders on for all the wacky, hokey stuff that I don't care about. And I'm almost to the point I don't really care about the outcomes of the matches, what happens, because I just want to be entertained with this WrestleMania. I just want to see good wrestling. I want the show to flow smoothly, and regardless of the outcomes, I just hope what we get on Monday after Mania, the pieces all start, to make sense a little bit more, because like you said, the build to this show has been, especially with the main event scene, has just been like
lackluster. There's no energy.
But if you look at it, if The Rock, I mean, I don't know, you take The Rock out of the equation and you just had Cody win the Rumble, what would the weeks leading up to this weekend have been like with just Cody and Roman building a feud? Would we be...
To be quite honest with you, last year's WrestleMania build was better than this year's WrestleMania build.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we were so on the edge of our seat. Everybody thought Cody was going to win. And then they kind of surprised everybody and was like, "What? Why is Roman winning?" At that point, I tapped out. At that point, I tapped out. I'm like, "Okay, all right, it's been enough of this Roman Reigns shit. Okay, fine. I'll go along with it." So,
dude, I'm never gonna do that. Like, until the day I die, like, I'll never change. I will never ever stop fighting for better. Like, I will never ever be given garbage on a silver platter, and I will never accept it. Never.
I don't think Roman's totally garbage. I think
no.
Good things
it's
about
not him that's garbage. It's the booking of his title reign and the fact that he's a fucking part-time champion. Dude, Logan Paul.
You didn't watch his documentary, did you?
No, I didn't, because
do you know that he's been actively going through cancer treatment like for the last year? That's why he doesn't wrestle all the time.
Listen, I wish him well, and I really do hope that everything turns out okay. Fine. I'm not going to harp on him for his health problems. I've never harped on anyone for their fucking health problems. I got fucking health problems.
Right, but generally in sports, in a professional sport, let's say if it's like baseball or something of that nature, and there's an athlete going through something like that, and he fights through it and finds a way to overcome, we always applaud that type of story, right?
Yeah, I applaud the personal story, but in terms of the pro
So you don't think it's like something of a personal accomplishment that he's got cancer, and up until this documentary, nobody had any idea that he's been on medication, like, I forget how many times.
Dude, this was public knowledge.
I mean, we knew he had leukemia, and then we were told that it was in remission by him, and then we haven't really heard much about it since he said he was in remission, right?
Yes.
So in that documentary, he let it be known that this whole entire time he's taking whatever cancer medication multiple times weekly, which probably has got him feeling not at 100% a lot of the time.
And look, that's not his fault. I'm not going to blame anyone. All I'm saying is he shouldn't be champion if he's going through these treatments. If you cannot, I'm not saying he needs to wrestle every week, but if you are at least not, if you're not there at least every week, if you're not defending the title at least once a month, then you know what? You shouldn't be champion. I'm sorry. We need a full-time champion that will be there every week, because without a full-time champion, the majority of the upper mid-card to main event scene on that specific show, SmackDown, feels directionless. Like, what is Kevin Owens fighting for? He can't fight for the U.S. title for all these years. What's Randy Orton going to fight for? What's LA Knight going to fight for? What's AJ Styles going to fight for?
Do you think that Roman and Rock, Cody wins night 2? Do we even see Roman Monday Raw after Mania? Is he just gone?
Probably. I don't. I mean, we saw him last year, Raw after Mania, probably.
But he won. And so you didn't see his documentary. He said if he's not champion, he don't want to be there.
Okay,
now, I'm trying to figure out if that was like an Easter egg, if that was a seed planted, so that we understand when Cody wins. Is Roman Reigns retiring? Is he going away for a while to completely focus on his health?
At this point, dude, I really don't know. I don't know. Yeah. And to be quite honest with you, whatever goes on in Roman's personal life is not my business.
Yeah.
That's not my business. I wish him well, and I hope that everything turns out okay. But in the end, I'm not here to, talk about Roman's personal life. I'm not here to talk about Roman's personal life.
I just think it's inspirational, especially that he does make a wish, and so to go into a hospital and talk with sick kids and hang out with them.
No, that's fine, dude. That's all fine. But what I'm talking about does not pertain.
Very inspirational for them.
It is. It is. And you know what? That's great on his part. It is. But again, what I'm talking about does not pertain to what he does outside of a professional wrestling ring. Everything that I discuss, unless I'm talking about Charlotte Flair, who I've said is a complete fucking bitch behind the scenes. I think she's a selfish piece of shit. And Roman Reigns, to a certain extent, I don't know about you, even though he's going through some cancer treatment, I feel as though since it was his call to have Cody Rhodes lose last year and his call to have him retain, I don't know. I was kind of questioning whether or not Roman Reigns is really has the best intention for the business in mind. But either way, listen, he just needs to win. He needs to win. Here's the thing. If Roman Reigns does not do the job at WrestleMania, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to boycott SmackDown. I'm not going to cover SmackDown anymore. I will not be covering SmackDown until Roman Reigns is no longer champion. And I promise you that. I am not covering NXT. I will stop covering SmackDown. And number two, I will call out Roman, cancer treatment or not. I will call him out for being selfish. I'm going to call him out.
Now, I agree with this. If Cody doesn't win night 2, creatively, he's fucked.
No one will take him seriously as a babyface top contender ever again.
Now, here's my thing. If he doesn't win, when he wins, because we all believe that he's going to, when he wins, the last couple of weeks, I don't know. I feel like I've heard, like you said, they should have done it while the iron was hot last year because they had pretty much 95% of the fan base behind Cody Rhodes. It doesn't feel like he's got 95% of the fan base behind him now. And I know in the long run, that doesn't really matter. They'll make their decision anyway. But how annoying to me it's going to be if we had Roman forced on us all these years and then they fucked up last year. So now they've got to it just feels forced this year because they have to correct the mistakes that they made last year. So they give him Royal Rumble. They put him in the main event of WrestleMania again. It's going to feel somewhat forced now when he gets this title, as opposed to if he would have won it last year, it would have been a natural, organic, like Mania moment. He did it type of deal. And I see the fans turning on him once he finally gets that title, which is a complete, like, what was the point then? So then we're going to finally get this made to look wuss bag champion that's been getting his ass handed to him for weeks, and then he's going to win night 2. That's not going to be very believable for me just because of the beatings he's been taking week after week after week.
What are you going to do? Have Roman retain again?
Well, no. And this is the problem. This is a shit this is a plate of shit for dinner.
I know. But at this point, WWE's got nobody to blame but themselves.
And then Cody
WWE has
comes out Raw after Mania. I got the title, and what? Everybody's going to be like,
I know. And at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation if you think about it, but you may as well go with the lesser of two evils, because here's the thing.
you almost
Cody's
have to
title
go with
win-
Cody. You have to go with Cody
Yes,
at
you
this
have
point.
to.
You have to. You have no choice. Otherwise, he for sure is going to get booed by everybody Monday after Mania if he loses.
And in addition to that, it's a sad scenario, but there's nobody else for Roman. There's nobody else. And even if Cody does win, which I hope he does, Cody wins, his win is already tarnished because both men are worse off this year than they were last year. And the impact of Cody's title win is not going to feel as special anymore. Because I'm telling you this right now. I'm going to look everyone dead in the eye. They will not duplicate what they did last year. The match will not be as good as it was what it was last year. Last year's match was easily one of the top 10 best matches of the year. I don't even think this year's match is going to come close. I think this match is going to be an overbooked clusterfuck.
I hope you're wrong. But I agree. Usually when two guys go out there and have a match that, especially if you're not expecting them to have as good of a match as they put on, when they do that, it's almost impossible to live up to that in a rematch. You know what I mean? So I'm with you. I don't think that their one-on-one match night 2 is going to hold a candle to how awesome that match was last year. Yeah, I don't know, this whole Cody thing. So he beats Roman, who's been the top of the food chain for years. And so what does Cody do after that? Because anything else is less than. He beats Roman, and his story ends, so he doesn't use my story. Can't use the finish the story gimmick anymore. So where do you go?
And you know why it's going to feel less than? And this is a problem that WWE has yet to acknowledge. People want to go and claim, oh, larger than life stars, superstars, main event talent, and it's amazing. And this guy looks like a star and he feels like a star. You know how you get someone being larger than life? This isn't the 80s or the 90s anymore. You're never going to have a roster full of larger than life individuals, because you know how you have to make someone larger than life. There's only one way to make someone larger than life, and that is feeding them virtually everyone else on the roster to make everyone else feel less than that person. And that's the unfortunate set of circumstances that we're at. People want to bitch and moan that other companies outside of WWE, they don't have any larger-than-life individuals. But building up a larger-than-life individual, that is detrimental to the rest of your roster. Because now, no one looks credible compared to Roman. Nobody does.
And maybe Cody gets into a feud with like Randy Orton. Randy Orton's about the only guy outside of Roman Reigns that I feel
Punk as well. Randy and Punk. That's it. Those are the only two credible guys that maybe Rollins again, but I mean, we've seen that.
Oh, no, shit. Please, God, no.
We've seen that shit. It'll be a great match, but again, we've seen that shit.
Yeah, I don't want to. If they do that again, it's got to be somewhere down the line, not this year, maybe not even next year, because it's they've fought each other too recently.
And you
I
know
forgot
what's
about
sad?
CM Punk.
I would have loved to have seen AJ Styles and Cody, but dude, AJ's a fucking jobber. Dude, AJ Styles is fighting LA Knight on this show, and we may as well start skipping around here. Dude, this is a fucking SmackDown match. This is a SmackDown match on WrestleMania.
Did you see their lame little scuffle they got into on Twitter?
Yeah.
This morning.
No one has taken AJ Styles seriously since he jobbed out to Omos 3 years ago. No one has taken AJ Styles seriously. AJ Styles' career has been fucking ruined. The biggest thing that AJ
I think
Styles
that's been done by design. I think he's wanting to wind down.
Well, if he wants to wind down, fine. But I mean, don't fucking job him out to Omos. Don't fucking job him out to Omos. Dude, look at the people that Styles has feuded with. He's feuded with the Judgment Day. He's feuded with Adam Copeland. He's feuded with Seth Rollins. Feuded with Karrion Kross, right? Now he's feuding with LA Knight. He's feuded with Roman Reigns for a little bit. Has any of those feuds felt important? And I mean important in the sense of AJ Styles and this guy, they got a lot of heat going into this feud. No, none of them. The biggest thing that Styles has done is put on that great match with Rollins back at Night of Champions. Outside of that, like, dude, nothing that Styles has done has had any heat. And even his matches with Adam Copeland, those were very good matches. But I mean, no one cared. No one cared because Adam Copeland was this heel leading the Judgment Day, and he was the only credible individual in that program while Styles looked like a fucking bum because he lost to Omos. Now we're supposed to take him seriously against LA Knight, and LA Knight, don't even get me started on him. Knight should be fighting Logan Paul. Why isn't Knight in the U.S. title picture? Why?
That's a good point. That's a good question. And
I'm
the
not saying
bitch of
put
it
the
is
world title on him, but give him the U.S. title at least.
I'm trying to have faith that LA Knight is he's still on his way to seeing his time. I think they're slow burning with LA Knight, and I think the timing of The Rock coming in did not help him because he was already compared. A lot of people think that his style and the way he talks and the way he sounds is very Rock copycatish. I'm not saying I'm one of those people. I do see and hear the similarities, so I think that kind of screwed him a bit. But I don't think we've seen the best of LA Knight yet. That being said, I still, for some reason, I feel like AJ Styles is winning this match.
AJ Styles is winning this match?
Yeah.
Dude, that would really be detrimental to LA Knight. Dude, no one gives a fuck about Styles anymore. It's sad to say, but no one gives a fuck about him.
I actually want LA Knight to win this match.
And what makes you think Styles is winning?
Just the way he's looked since he came back. There just seems to be a darker, more vicious side to him, obviously, now that he's turned heel. And I don't think they did that just to have him come out and lose at Mania.
I'm telling you, dude,
I think they look at LA Knight as more expendable, to be honest.
That's not going to favor well for him. Because, dude, LA Knight's momentum, he doesn't feel the same. LA Knight does not feel the same after losing to Roman. He's not buried, but his momentum was ruined. He does not feel the same at all. And the fact that he's not in the U.S. title picture, that right there, that's like strike two to me. The loss to Roman was strike one. Not putting the U.S. title on him at Mania, I mean, dude, that's strike two. Like, what are we doing here? LA Knight realistically should have taken the U.S. title off of Austin Theory at last year's SummerSlam. Fuck the Slim Jim Battle Royal. I don't like it, dude. I don't like it at all. I'm gonna have.
I hope I'm wrong. I mean, because I feel like AJ Styles is gonna win. That'll be a moment where if LA Knight wins, that'll probably get me to jump up and mark out.
Well, speaking of the U.S. title, I mean, you got Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. I mean, you got to get. If I'm booking this, I'm having LA Knight win, and I'm having Logan Paul retain, and I'm giving LA Knight the U.S. title at Backlash. That's what I'm doing. I'm not waiting. I'm giving LA Knight the U.S. title at Backlash, and similar to how I would give Chad Gable the Intercontinental title at Backlash. Do not waste any more fucking time. Cut the shit. Give LA Knight the U.S. title. He needs to win. He has to.
I agree.
So let me ask you this. If Styles is beating LA Knight, who wins the U.S. title match then?
Again, there's the fan in me, and then there's the knowing how WWE operates. They're probably going to go that way direction. I would really like to see. I just want more meaning for what Randy Orton is doing in the ring, and I know a lot of people aren't big on him winning the U.S. title, and they see that being beneath him because he's been champion so many times. But realistically, if he loses the U.S. title match, what are you going to do when Cody wins the WWE Championship?
That's going to be your SummerSlam match.
Well, if he can't win the U.S. title, he somehow makes it to the WWE Championship.
And that's where WWE should build him up through wins. That's one thing that I hate about WWE. Like they do not treat their company.
They won't even do a build for SummerSlam until 2, maybe 3 weeks before the fucking pay-per-view anyway.
I hate that, but
we're literally going to get like Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton in like different scenarios until the next pay-per-view probably.
I know, because WWE is rematch city. How many times do we need Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre on Raw?
Like,
we saw that shit 5 times within 2 months.
Just talking about this right now just literally started to make my face itch.
And now you understand where I'm coming from with this build.
Oh, yeah.
Now you understand where
I'm not saying the build's been great. I've just tried to enjoy the parts that I could enjoy. I don't know. I just love, it's because of, it's just the year I was born, the era I was born into, man. And I feel like when you get to be my age, there's going to be a part of you, your wrestling then is going to be probably much different than it is or was during your favorite time period in wrestling. And the nostalgia of how wrestling used to be is just really coming through with what The Rock is doing. And I feel like WWE just needs to find a way to transfer that into the roster and the talent they have now. And I feel like maybe now that the old man is gone, a lot of the product is starting to feel different. Just the presentation of it, the look, things are starting to make a little bit more sense in terms of, at least I don't sit there and feel like I'm getting secondhand embarrassment in a room all by myself, where that's how I felt every Raw for I don't know how many years under the old administration. So
listen, things have been a lot more serious, but at the same point in time, WWE, and I've always stated this, at their core, and this is a problem, this is a company-wide problem, WWE at its core was, is, and always will be a lazy company. They're just lazy. That's why I have a very, very hard time really getting into their shows, because they should be doing so much better, and a lot of shit on their shows doesn't have any energy. Like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Dude, that feud started off actually fairly decent. That feud back in January started off fairly decent. I'm like, oh shit, we got a new fucking faction. This is great. This is great for Cross and the Authors of Pain. And then what did they do? They had them play Ring Around the Rosie in matches almost every week on SmackDown, to a point where this shit should have ended at the Chamber. Never mind Mania.
Yeah.
Now, I think the match is going to be fucking entertaining as shit. I do. I think the match is going to be fucking entertaining as shit. Philadelphia Street Fight, I'm all for it. I am. But I mean, holy shit, they just ran this shit into the ground since the start of the year. And I don't want to make comparisons, but this shit makes Jericho and Hook look like fucking Rock and Austin from fucking 2001. And here's the thing. That shit is not exciting at all. Not because they're not great, but because, dude, Jericho's done everything. But at this rate, I should not be saying that a babyface Chris Jericho, who's not that good, a babyface Jericho is better than these 6 guys. I shouldn't be saying that. Why am I saying that?
I don't know. I mean, and part of me is happy for Cross that he's going to be on Mania, but again, I'm like, is this a pre-show match?
Dude.
We have 2 hours of pre-show on both effing days.
Like, dude, this match, as good as it is, doesn't need to be on the show. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Final Husband doesn't need to be on the show. LA Knight, AJ Styles doesn't need to be on the show.
A lot of these matches, I just hope if there's really 4 hours of pre-show, you can't just run the same half-hour vignette like over and over.
Dude.
Building the card. Like, please tell me there's at least some matches. What, as irrelevant as they might be, some of these matches just, like you said, why? There's no importance to this match, really.
And do you want to know something?
And that sucks to say because I love the AOP. Maybe not necessarily their second run because we haven't really gotten to see much of it yet. So that I'm not dissing it. I'm just waiting for them to feel like AOP of NXT. But I don't know if they will ever get to that point, you know. And Cross, it's like, I mean, I don't want them to lose, but someone's got to lose.
It's Cross and AOP's got to win it. Cross and AOP wins.
You think they're going to win?
It has to be.
Then what I mean, so why aren't we talking about Lashley then? Like, I mean, how is he still credible or believable or anything? Because anytime I ever watch the guy, he's not winning.
Because Lashley's a made man. Lashley's had a career. He's a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. He's a 3-time United States Champion.
So what you're saying is they put all this in. They put all of this time and effort into like a presentation and a gimmick for him to be an enhancement talent.
Well, he's not losing in 3 minutes. Listen, if you're gonna lose, then lose in a banger of a match and look like a beast in defeat. That's the thing. There's a difference between Styles getting squashed by Omos and Lashley and the Profits having a 15-20 minute banger with the Final Testament with all these fucking weapons and then losing because, you know, they received all the finishers in a row. There's a big difference. But I don't think Lashley's taking the pin.
Well, I got him winning, so
I got the Final Testament. I mean, you got to give Cross and AOP a win because they haven't won. They've been losing. You want to know what the saddest part about all this is? You got yourself Iyo Sky and Bayley and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, 2 world title matches, and both of the builds have been afterthoughts. Like, dude, where's
I feel like they were building Bayley at the beginning of the year fairly nicely, and then what happened?
Exactly, yeah. Started off good.
You know what happened? You know exactly what happened.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
There you go.
And then Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre.
He took whatever time he needed, and guess who got nixed from the show?
Bayley and Iyo Sky. And then Rollins and Drew. I understand this was a backup plan. Trust me, I know. I'm not a fucking retard. This was a backup plan because Punk got injured. It was going to be Punk and Rollins. I know.
Right.
But, I mean, holy shit. Can you give us some substance other than repetition over and over again between the two? Dude, what did these guys say that wasn't already said during the build towards their match at Crown Jewel last year? What did these two say that wasn't already said in the build towards their match at Day 1 this year? What did they say? And here's the kicker. I said this before. The best segment that these two had in the build towards their match at Mania was with Punk involved. An injured CM Punk. A CM Punk with a torn tricep. And he shot on both of them. I'm going to make you two interesting. I mean, holy fuck. If that wasn't a fucking truth bomb, I don't know what the fuck is. That is pathetic that it took an injured CM Punk to give us some substance with Drew and Rollins going into Mania. Like, dude, that is a problem. That's a fucking problem.
Well, part of it is a testament to how good CM Punk is. I feel like there are select individuals that are given more leeway on the microphone and know how to talk on the microphone in a believable manner, and I feel like it really becomes apparent when you see somebody like CM Punk. You can tell that he's probably just got whatever he's saying up in his head. And sometimes Drew McIntyre comes off as overly scripted. I will say,
that vibe. Not this year.
no, not this year. I'm just saying of the last few years under the old administration with Sword and the Stone Drew. Because of how brutal he was when he came back to WWE, when he came through NXT, when he made it to the main roster, they just completely neutered him for a long time. And to see him getting back to that vicious side, that sinister Drew McIntyre, has been really good for him. I just feel like the creative tells them what to say a lot of times, and it's not done Drew McIntyre any good to have Seth Rollins be in every Cody segment and arguing with Dwayne and Roman and getting punked out week after week. And Drew's done an amazing job, at least for me. I feel like the substance a lot has come from Drew via X, Twitter. What he's been putting out on Instagram and Twitter for the last couple of weeks has been golden. Showing up at Mindy's Bakery, all his shenanigans against Punk. I really think that Punk is going to have something to do with this match in some way, shape, or form. Drew's got to win.
Dude, he hasn't signed a new deal at this point. I don't know if he will. I think if they're gonna do this, like, I don't want Damian Priest cash in to go wasted. I think Priest is gonna cash in and do the same thing that Rollins did at Mania 31.
If Triple H is behind creative, Damian Priest is very much a Triple H guy, and a lot of people I've talked to seem to have this idea that Priest is going to be a failed cash-in, and I don't believe that for a second. I don't think Damian Priest over the last few weeks has been looking off to the side of the camera, almost like when things are going on, he's got something on his mind. And that leads me to believe that all this time he's been plotting something in his head that he's not even letting anybody in the Judgment Day know. And I think we see that come to a head at WrestleMania, and I think he gets his Mania moment. But Drew, I don't know. Whatever happens, Seth is not leaving WrestleMania with the belt. That's all I know.
No. I mean, if Priest cashes in, I mean, that's a full circle moment for Rollins. You live by the cash in, you die by the cash in.
Yeah.
Now with Drew, I don't know what happens with Drew. Here's the one thing, like, Drew is probably the most unpredictable thing about WWE right now. Mm-hmm. And it's because We don't know whether he's going to win or whether he's going to lose and take time off to be with his family a bit, and then he's going to come back, or if he's going to go somewhere else. It's a very, very unpredictable scenario with Drew. Very, very, very unpredictable scenario. You want me to be quite honest with you? I actually hope Drew leaves. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you. I kind of wish Drew leaves.
It was like you saw into my brain at that exact second, because I was literally about to say, I think he would be a sick addition to the Blackpool Combat Club.
Dude, can you imagine the pop if he shows up at Wembley? Imagine that. Like, you want to make Wembley big? That's how you fucking make it big.
And he'd be back to Drew Galloway again.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not even saying this because he's been misused. I'm not. He's doing the best work of his career right now. But, dude, let me ask you a question. Like, what does he do if he wins the world championship? What does he do after he loses the world championship? He's gonna be in the same position that Rollins was in back in 2021 and 2022. He's going to be a glorified enhancement talent. I don't want to use that term, but that's what he's going to be. It's the same thing with Rollins, too. I kind of hope Rollins leaves, too. Because, dude, there's just nothing left for him to do. That
was the problem for years when we were having Seth Rollins shoved down our throat when he was the architect after he turned on his Shield brothers. Everybody seemed to really love and gravitate to that version of Seth Rollins, and I didn't like it because not for the fact that he's not good. It's just I saw it was like Charlotte. It's like, I mean, Charlotte's only been around so many years, and she's already got almost as many titles under her belt as her father, who's been around for
I don't think
95 years.
Charlotte, to be fair, I don't think you.
No. I'm saying in terms of
exposure.
You give them that much that soon. You get to 10 years in their career, and we're sitting here saying, I hope they leave, because what the fuck else? Like, we've seen everything else. There's literally nothing else.
Rollins and Drew McIntyre honestly feel like Chris Jericho feels. Like, they've done everything. Like, where are they going to go? They're just going around in circles.
Yeah, I was by no means comparing Seth Rollins and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I was about to say. But
I just mean in terms of them and the over pushing that Vince gave them so soon. I felt I knew right away with Seth Rollins. I saw it happening. Well, with both of them, to be honest, but
to be quite honest with you, I don't think that Rollins is going to leave. Like, if one of those two are leaving, I think it's going to be Drew. I don't think Rollins is leaving just because.
I don't either.
You know why? I feel like Rollins has gotten complacent. Not complacent in the sense that he doesn't want to wrestle, because he gives it his all when he's in the ring, and he
just knows he's untouchable. He knows he's a made man, so that kind of like in sports when the guy that's in a contract year is playing his ass off and he's at the top of the league in all of his stats, and then he gets that huge payday, and then what do they do 9 times out of 10 the following year? They don't ever live up to that epic year that they had before they got that big fat paycheck, right? So and that's kind of where we are with Seth Rollins. He knows, like, it's just a guaranteed paycheck, so he's just enjoying life. He's just on cruise control. He's he's got his daughter now. He's got his mind focused more on other things and not just completely wrestling 24/7. And that's, you can tell when a wrestler is hit that wall or hit that mindset because it comes through on television, in my opinion.
Well, to be fair, like, if Rollins would leave and go to work for Tony Khan, that would give Rollins a lighter schedule and more time to spend with his daughter, if we're going to be quite honest here. But the reason being why Rollins is not going to leave is because I honestly don't think that Rollins is as passionate about wrestling anymore. I don't. I think that Rollins is just, he's just comfortable.
Yeah.
He's just comfortable where he is. Like, if I was to tell you who's more passionate, Moxley or Rollins, I'm going with Moxley. And Moxley's got a daughter. Moxley's got a wife.
But you can tell Moxley is still very much in love with the business. I mean, he's doing AEW and a lot of other stuff outside of AEW.
He worked a show in Mexico in front of 16,000 people.
Right. And I believe, isn't he doing something in GCW this weekend?
Yeah, he does shit in GCW. He does shit with New Japan. He's fighting Naito at
He's
Windy
very
City
still
Riot.
much career oriented of the mind. Even though he's got a daughter, he's like of that old school mentality where guys were on the road and missing all that time with their kids and stuff, and that mentality that they had to have. I think it made it calloused you as a person a little bit. There was
No,
just
I don't think it's a mentality. I think it's just a passion. I think he just loves pro wrestling. He just wants to wrestle.
right.
But I don't think Rollins is passionate about wrestling anymore. I think Rollins is just passionate with his position. And it's not like he needs to stay in WWE because he's already a made man. He's a multimillionaire. And I'd be a betting man and probably win when I say that Rollins and Becky, they have saved their money wisely. It is what it is, but Rollins is not making it out of that show with that championship.
Well, I know those wacky outfits he comes out in aren't cheap.
I think that his wife gets those. He's coming out with shoes with fucking bow ties on them.
I think that it's possible we see Seth Rollins. We don't see Seth Rollins for a while. I think that he comes back repackaged.
We'll have to wait and see.
He needs to, especially if he loses the title.
All right, but I'm gonna go with Drew or Priest, and then as far as Iyo and Bayley goes, I'm probably gonna go with Bayley, and I want to see Hugger Bayley back.
Do you see any possibility that Priest cashes in for the other title?
No.
To upstage The Rock and Roman Reigns?
No.
And to stop Cody from finishing his story?
Can't see it. Can't see it happening.
No? No chance he does that?
Nah, I just don't sense it. But holy shit. Long stream today, people. Plenty of shit to talk about. A long one today. And it looks like we have wrapped up this edition of The Rundown. I'm probably going to get out of here, and I'm going to set myself up for Supercard of Honor in about 90 minutes. HooliGrim, thank you very much. One more time, where can everybody find you?
On X at HooliGrim up on the screen. It's easier to read it than for me to describe it, and my TikTok is there as well.
You already know the drill, people. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Be ready for a dual rewind tomorrow for Supercard and NXT Stand and Deliver. Then we got the rewind for Mania Night 1 with my girl Billy on Sunday, and rewind for Night 2 on Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. He's HooliGrim. This has been The Rundown. Before we get out of here, HooliGrim, before we get out of here, please answer the oh-so important question. Who runs the IWC?
DJ motherfucking Storm.
Damn right, baby. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!